Welcome to episode 2 of the Sunshine Worldwide School podcast. Today we are talking about why it is important to have life relevant education. Not just marks based, not just subject based, but education which is relevant to life. We are here with the founder of Sunshine Worldwide School, Mr. Deepak Khaitan. Welcome Deepak ji to the second episode. How are you doing?
Namaste. Thank you very much for this second episode of Sunshine Worldwide School podcast.
You know, one of the classic questions that people ask after you graduate from the 10th and 12th is, how much marks did you get? You know, this is like, even your degree, what's your CGPA? You know, everything is about marks. But often I've seen in life that those who score the highest don't necessarily succeed and do well in their careers. You know? So, can you tell us about that? Why is it more important to educate students in a better system rather than just focusing on marks?
I think you have said half of the answer already, that they don't do better in life. The reason is very simple. Probably if you remember in my first episode, I had said that the education system is exam based and you only memorize things for the examination. Now, exams result is a reflection of your memorization. So the children who are having good memory get good marks, right? And that's how. But why they don't do well is a very big question. Because the education system, which has pressurized them to get good marks, have stopped or controlled all their other systems or all their other ways of doing things or thinking. The thinking is stopped. And that is what the Britishers wanted us. They only wanted Indians to become clerks, not to think, do only what they are telling them to do, get good marks and work for them. And they have achieved it. But what you rightly said was that they don't do well in life and others do because who are the backbenchers or who don't connect or who don't study well, which the society doesn't accept, but actually they do really well. Most of the billionaires in the world are dropouts. Because the education system only prepares people to work for somebody else well. And that's how they're conditioned. They are not trained to do something and create jobs and opportunities for others.
Yep.
That is why there's a big gap between industry and academia.
Interesting. Now, let's talk about some real life examples. Can you share about some of your life experiences? Tell us, does this
So
affect?
remember, Ryanji, I mentioned to you that I was born in a petroleum business family.
Yes.
I did my computers. I did my BSc in mathematics. And finally, what am I doing?
Completely different.
Completely different. And I have seen so many people. When I started the school, there was a doctor, MBBS doctor. He did medicine because both his parents were doctors. They wanted somebody to run their nursing home. And he did MBBS. But he was just MBBS. He never practiced the profession. And you know what he wanted? He wanted to be an English teacher. And he's such a wonderful teacher. People really look forward to learning from him. And this is what our education system has really not done properly. Or I would say the society has not done properly. The parents want to live, first of all, their dreams through their children. I couldn't do this, so you do it. I didn't go to IIT, so you go to IIT. I couldn't become a doctor, so you become a doctor. I was not able to play tennis, so you play tennis. I was not able to do this, so you do this. Why? Absolutely ridiculous. The child is born to you is fine, but child has their own unique skill sets and talents. Nurture them. Let them grow to become a unique individual and make a difference in this world. Because if they do what you want them to do, they will not do it well. So I always tell people, if you do something, and want to love that something, it'll be very difficult. So do what you love. Rather than loving what you have, what you're doing, it's very difficult.
Yeah. And we are
So
talking.
I don't know whether it connects to do a love marriage, because after doing arranged marriage, you have to start loving your partner. It may take a little while, but if you do a love marriage, you're already in love. But it has to be a pure love.
So are you planning to start some other matrimonial site or something? Just kidding. But I like what you said, that we have to start. We have to make education relevant to life. And you gave this example of this person who did the MBBS but did not pursue it.
Yeah.
In a similar situation, there may be so many people, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about life relevant education. Now let's talk about the country as a whole. As you said, the British had a mandate to just make Indians clerks. That's how they have set the system up. Now the government has come up with this NEP, the National Education Policy, which is promoting more holistic education and holistic learning. Tell us about that and why it's relevant for the country as a whole, and what your school is doing about it.
So our education policy was made about 40 years back, and it never changed. And we have been doing, previously till 1990, we were in industrial age. And that time we wanted a conveyor belt system. So whoever was being produced from the education system, they need to go into that industrial revolution and industrial system. And that was fine till 1990. 1990, we had information age. The globalization happened. Computers came in, mobiles came in. Today, information is on a fingertip. You don't know you have to only know which information to take, why to take, and from where to take, how to process it, and finally how to apply it. Information is not required to be bugged up or memorized. So the things have changed, but the education system did not change, which is the need of the hour. And I'm so glad that the government has taken this step of changing the education system. Just for reference, this education system had taken a leap in 2009 when right to education policy came in, and CBSE, the Central Board of Secondary Education, made a lot of beautiful reforms. Like they allowed schools to do a home board. They also went away from testing.
A home board? What do you mean by home board?
So home board means the children are allowed to do an exam like they do in 8th standard. So the school will set the papers, the school will correct the papers, the school will assess whether the child has done or they have learned what they are supposed to learn or not.
Okay.
So there's no fear of, board exam hai. We have to pass the board exam. We have to clear the board exam. Board exam mein 99% aana chahiye. That is not there. So they made life relaxed. They did PSA, that is problem solving analysis. They did ASL, assessment of speaking and learning, which is like when we go for TOEFL, you know how to speak and listen. How many of us learn how to know how to listen? Have we been ever taught how to listen? Never. But if you learn a language, the 4 most important components of a language are LSRW: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. The education system, the old education system, has been always focusing on writing, the last component. We never focused on the first one, listening, which is the most important and most crucial. That is why people have conflicts, because they don't know how to listen. Everyone wants to say something of their own. But if a child is good at speaking, can't you take an exam by listening? So CBSE did that. Assessment of speaking and listening and speaking, ASL. They did CCE, the Comprehensive Continuous Evaluation, which was so beautiful. You have to be assessed all through what you do, not at the end of the term. Why you have to be tested for memory? You have to understand the concept, and then you have to apply the concept. And that is what they did. But believe me, our country is a huge country. And we have got, CBSE had about 21,000 schools. Now it is 27,000 schools. And more than 50%, or I would say more than 60%, are government schools, which are affiliated to CBSE. In village schools, they didn't have that bandwidth to accept this kind of system, because they were trained with the British policy and the British education system. So CBSE had to take a U-turn in 2017, which was heartbreaking for me. Because from 2003, when we started the school, we were already doing all this. We never had exams. We never had competition. We never had textbooks in the school. There's no textbook from class up to class 7. The children learn life as a whole, not divided into compartments, into subjects. And that's what CBSE was moving towards. But they had to go back. And then we had to finally go into IB, which we wanted to really, which was the international board from Switzerland, Geneva, and which was actually meeting our expectations and the vision.
Okay.
International Baccalaureate.
So, please clarify. Does your school offer both CBSE and IB, and how does it work?
So we were a CBSE school and we are still a CBSE school. For our primary years, we have taken the IB program because that's the foundation. And as a school, and as a passionate school, or as a visionary school, as a school with a difference, we offered the IB program to all our children, irrespective of the fees. We are one of the lowest charging IB schools in the whole country. Any IB school in the country would charge more than 4 or 5 lakhs a year, and we are only at around 1+ lakh. That's it. But we wanted to give this education, which we were already providing to our children and to all of them in Goa.
So, you're very happy with this new NEP?
So I'm not only happy, but I'm extremely satisfied and happy with the way it is progressing. But the only concern is it should be implemented in the right manner. It should not be diluted. If it is done in letter and spirit, then it's fine. But if it's just for the namesake, then it will not happen. Then Viksit Bharat is a dream only. But if it's really done in the proper manner, as it has been defined in the policy document, and if everyone changes their mindset, first is the mindset, and the parents have to also start accepting it, then believe me, Modi ji wants Viksit Bharat in 47. I say it will happen in 37.
Absolutely. So, I would like to ask you, what shifts do you suggest for schools to have more hands-on and practical education?
So, most importantly, first they have to start moving away from ranking and marks. Ranking and marks are detrimental. They are not required at all. At all. Everyone has their own place. As I told you, we are all unique. So there's no comparison which is required for marks and ranks. Secondly, every concept should be started with a why, with an application of the concept. Thirdly,
yeah, we spoke about this very well during the first episode.
Yes, and with the application, also I missed telling you last time, but we should take them for a field trip to an industry where they can actually see that concept in practice, in the real world, in real time, not as a experiment in the lab, but actually happening in the real world, in an industry or in a business model.
Interesting. Now that we're talking about industry, the British education system basically, as you said, was like a conveyor belt. Get students out. The main reason we want them out is to work in our industry, work as clerks, right? But there is still a gap, and industry has changed so much over the years. So there is now still a gap between what you learn in school and what is required when you join the workforce. So what can education do to bridge that gap between learning and industrial requirement?
This question is very close to my heart. I'm very passionate about this question. And the gap between industry and academia is the major issue. Even if they were a conveyor belt system before, one size does not fit all. And the conveyor belt system says one size fits all. They're all toothpaste coming in the same shape and the same size, the same quantity. It's never possible. We are all different. Our brains are different, our hearts are different, our body is different, our strengths are different. So we cannot do that. Now you say what we can do. Even then there was a big gap between industry and academia, because academia was only preparing theoretically the children. There was no practical learning. Though industries had to, that's why internships were done for a namesake. Then the industries had to actually train the workforce for being useful at their place. And that's why it took longer to be successful rather than faster. Now what we can do is, the industry and academia should join hands together. They should start, all the education institutes should have a tie-up with industry. And the children should be able to go and do apprenticeship there. See what's happening actually. There are only 2 professions like this in the world or in the country which I see are absolutely connected to the industry. One is medical. Every medical college has a hospital attached. Probably from week 1, the students start seeing blood. So they are taken to the operation theatre, they are taken to the hospital, they go to the wards and they see actually what is happening. And that is why the doctors are so professionally trained.
So one is medicine.
Second is chartered accountancy. There is no college for chartered accountancy. Right? You have to practice on your own and you have to become an article under a CA. And you have to go to the client's office and actually do audit. And go to different clients and learn different ways of auditing. That is how you learn. Tell me one other, you're a mechanical engineer. Tell me how many times did you go to an industry in your 4 years of education?
Very rarely, and even if it was just like a trip for all of us. We are very
Exactly. So you learned lathe machine in your college as an experiment. But you don't know, I was listening to a video by Mr. Amir Khan after he made his 3 Idiots. So while he was making his 3 Idiots movie, he went for a survey in the industrial state of Bombay, the main industry state in the hub of Bombay. And he was going with his director and other people and wanted to do a research. So somebody told me there's a lathe shop and this person is an excellent lathe operator. He went there and he asked him a question. भैया हमने सुना है आप बहुत अच्छा लेथ मशीन चलाते हैं, आपने कहाँ से सर्टिफिकेट लिया? बोला साहब सर्टिफिकेट तो कोई नहीं मेरे पास, तो आप इतने अच्छे लेथ मशीन ऑपरेटर कैसे बन गए? बोले साहब जब से मैं छोटा था मेरे पिताजी ने मुझे यहाँ डाल दिया और मैं सीख रहा हूँ और देख के एक्सपीरियंस करके हो गया साहब. आप बोल रहे हैं अच्छा हूँ तो हो सकता है अच्छा हूँ मैं, मुझे तो मालूम नहीं, मैं तो अपना काम कर रहा हूँ बस. ही वॉज सो हम्बल. तो आमिर खान बोला ये तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, आप इतना अच्छा चला रहे हैं और फिर भी आपको ये नहीं है कि कोई सर्टिफिकेट है आपके पास या आपने कोई डिग्री ली है या कोई एग्जाम दिया है, फिर भी लोग पूरी दुनिया कह रही है कि आप अच्छे लेथ मशीन ऑपरेटर हैं. ऐसी मेरे साथ है. आमिर खान बोले मेरे पास भी कोई डिग्री नहीं है कि मैं अच्छा एक्टर हूं, मैंने भी कोई सर्टिफिकेट नहीं लिया, लेकिन मैं हूं अच्छा एक्टर. तो एक डिग्री या एक मार्क्स या एक एग्जाम आपको बता नहीं सकता कि आप अच्छे इंजीनियर हैं या अच्छे आर्टिस्ट हैं या अच्छे एक्टर हैं. आपका काम बताता है आपको. यू हैव टू बी गुड एट योर वर्क, दैट्स मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट. सो पीपल हैव टू बी गुड एट देयर वर्क, नॉट गुड एट गेटिंग मार्क्स.
Right.
That is the shift in the mindset they have to do.
Absolutely. I love that example. Thank you for sharing that. My experience of school is that it teaches you very little when it comes to actual life. When you get into life and you're on your own, when you're independent, there's so many things which you have no idea how to do, right? So do you think that it's important for your students to learn life skills at school, or is that something that's relegated to what parents have to teach?
So I would say, Ryanji, that in today's time, when information is on a fingertip, on Google or ChatGPT or AI, whatever you say, and you just need to know what information to take, it's important to learn what to learn and how to learn. Not what we are learning, not content. And that is what we are teaching at Sunshine. We have a model bank in school. So all the children have their bank accounts. We do entrepreneurship days regularly in our school, maybe every 2 or 3 months, where children sell bhelpuris on the stall. They know how to make the ingredients, how to do a balance sheet in a class 2 and 3.
Wow.
How much they have saved money. They do budgeting. So life skills are the only thing that the child should learn in a school. Education, per se, the academics, what you say, today so many tutorials are there. On any platform you go, on YouTube, you'll find it. But these things you will not find, where you can socialize and learn social skills, self-management skills, interpersonal skills. All those things you need to learn in school. And most importantly today, for the 2030, as per World Economic Forum, the critical thinking, the creative thinking, the collaboration, cooperation are the 4 C's which will be more prominent, which will be required for people to really be successful in life. And this is what we need to inculcate in the children in schools.
Amazing. So you start at a very early age to teach these life skills.
Absolutely. That's why we have no textbooks, because textbooks confine you only with the books. There's no openness. So we let the children do projects, let the children move out, let the children go do interviews. I will not be surprised if probably the next episode I have with one of my students who's in class 6 probably. He will be my interviewer.
Absolutely.
And they do interviews on a regular basis.
Yeah. And I noticed one thing about your school is that you're very into respecting the culture. You know, like you say namaste, you say Deepak ji, Ryan ji. Why do you feel that this is important, and what does the school do to incorporate this into your vision?
So again, when we talk about the education system, it only taught us, and it said English is important. And that's what Britishers had told us. And every village school and every country school, they are only focusing on English as the language. Good morning, good afternoon, madam, sir. All that is happening. And we have forgotten our Sanskriti.
When you say Sanskriti, can you...
The culture, the traditions, the roots of our being, we've forgotten that. We always ape the West. People may not know Shigmo properly, but they will know what Halloween is. And I'm absolutely against it. You should celebrate Halloween only if you can dance in Shigmo. And respect your own self. Today people don't want to speak Konkani or Hindi, and they feel belittled, and they want to fluently speak French and English. Why? Because we don't have self-esteem. And this self-esteem was actually shattered by the Britishers. They said, "Tum kisi kaam ke nahi ho Hindustani." And we are still following that. We always look up to the West. Wow. And hamari country, gandi hai. Why? Respect your own culture. Clean it. Do it what you require to do. If I wear a kurta pajama and a jacket, people will say, "Arey kya pehen ke aaye hain? Ab podcast kar rahe hain, you should be wearing a suit and a tie." But why? Our ancestors did crores of business in a dhoti kurta, sitting on a gaddi, no tables. Why are we forgetting that? All big things have happened from our country, India. And everyone has made a system abroad because we were always shattered. Our self-esteem was not there. Our confidence was broken by the West. Now is the time we have to revive that confidence and self-esteem, and we have to say we are a superpower. We are, not we will be. We are a developed nation. We are a Viksit Bharat. And only this can happen when we respect our own culture, our own traditions, our own values, our own language, our own clothes, and our own selves. IB is very, very focused on this. They say international mindedness. And international mindedness is very, very clearly defined, that go from local to global. First, respect yourself, start from here, and then keep spreading. But never ever look at others' culture and belittle it, or your own culture. Respect all cultures, but follow your own culture. Don't change yourself. That's important.
Love it. And as a school, what are you doing to incorporate this into your curriculum?
So, as you rightly said, we start with the namaste, and then we do a lot of things, like we do yoga meditation. Like yoga is our Indian Sanskriti, right? Indian culture, tradition. But it has become popular once it becomes International Yoga Day. Then everyone celebrates International Yoga Day. But when it was our own, we did not respect it. Today, 18th of March, or recently one day has become, I think January, has become International Meditation Day. And then we are all doing meditation. But where has that come from? The roots are from the country. We have been doing meditation on a regular basis. Our school, we talk about these values on a very regular basis. Not only talk about, we demonstrate. So we celebrate all cultures and all festivals. Truly, truly we celebrate. If it's a dahi handi, there'll be children who will become a Krishna and they will break the dahi handi. When we do Ganesh Utsav, we do full Ganesh Utsav. So we are very, very clear about this to the parents when they take admissions. That even if you're Christian and your child may become a Krishna on a Janmashtami, and if you're a Hindu, your child may become a Jesus on a Christmas day. We have only one religion, and that is humanity. We will not divide and not let anyone divide the country based on religion. Educationist, only humanity.
Thank you for sharing that. That's a very interesting approach, and I love how you are driving your students to appreciate Indian culture and our Sanskriti. Thank you for that. This is very relevant because we are talking about Viksit Bharat, and in the end we have to be proud of our Indian heritage and our culture. And I love what you're doing. You're also talking about life relevant education. Can you talk about some success stories from your school?
Yeah. So, Ranji, we have a very unique program in our school, which is called the Sunshine Corporate Business World. So, in line with that, we don't have competitions in our school. We don't have any head boy, head girl. In other way, we have got 12 companies like Sunshine Publications, Sunshine Travel and Tourism, Sunshine Transport, Sunshine Financial, and so many other, lifestyle, infrastructure, etc., etc. And these companies have children who are part of these companies. So they get a understanding of the corporate world. They do share trading in these companies. They manage CSR in these companies. They have positions like the chairperson of the company, managing director, vice president, president.
Wow, and this starts from which class?
So this starts as low as class 2.
Really?
Yeah. So in class 2, we have limited to 5 companies. Then in class 6, we go up to 9 companies. And then in class 11, 12, we go to all 12 companies. So we have given them exposure. We have made modules throughout the year. We keep one period a week where we talk about negotiation skills, sales and marketing, decision making, failing, risk taking, innovation, design thinking.
And these are absolutely life relevant learning experiences.
Absolutely. So when our children move out from Sunshine and when they do this program for over 8-10 years, or they are chairperson of the company or managing director, they already, the seed is sown for entrepreneurship. Believe me, most of my alumni who have come back to me whenever, not today, even 10 years ago, they've always said, "Sir, you have given us this beautiful education at Sunshine that whichever college we go to, and if the college knows that we are from Sunshine, they say, you have to be the leader." Oh, really? Yeah. They're confused. Why? No, the Sunshine children are very confident. They are innovative. They are thinkers. They are entrepreneurial. And all our children, some way or the other, they make some money on the side.
Oh,
Whether
really?
they do a side business, or they do some photography, or they do some candle making, or something else. But they are all into that entrepreneurial mindset and life skills. It's
very interesting.
Amazing to see that the philosophy that we created in 2003 is giving fruits today. And it's actually happening in the world. And this is giving fruits that now today, National Education Policy 2020, or our Prime Minister Modi ji, Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, is talking about Viksit Bharat. And the two things that he is focusing on is Skill India and Startup India, or the entrepreneurial mindset. And both we are doing so well, and right from 2003. So we are part of that Viksit Bharat, happening of Viksit Bharat in the beginning only. Other schools or other people will come into it, but we are already there. We are already there. We are already contributing to the developing country, to be a developed country. Amazing. And that makes us so happy, and unconditionally happy though we are, but it's a lot of satisfaction.
I'd love to know about some of the actual real life success stories in your school. Can you share about a few?
So there are a lot of success stories, and some of them are doing candle business. Some are doing business with their own family businesses like construction. One child is running his own gym. A child is doing her own cafe. She started and she's doing very well. One child who we were wanting to be doing something is really doing very fantastic in our own cafe now. And there are so many stories like this. A child has become a photographer, and it's so fulfilling when we call these children to help us in the school now, and we give them our jobs. They become our vendors now. So our alumni is becoming our supplier or our vendor. So that gives a lot of satisfaction.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
I really love how the school is preparing students for the future, for careers, for business, right? Let's talk about the career program that you have at your school. You have something for the 11th and 12th standard students. Can you talk about that?
So as per National Education Policy, the policy is also talking about a lot of vocational courses. And I am going to put this point across, and I would like all the parents to think about it. Why do we look upon, you are an engineer. How would you look upon a IIT graduate? Or ITI, sorry, not IIT, ITI.
Someone who is not as well educated as an engineer.
Exactly. But that person is required, in my opinion, more than an engineer. They have hands-on experience and they do a lot of work for us.
Yes.
And we should start respecting the vocations, the ITIs,
Yeah.
and the likes.
Yeah.
And believe me, National Education Policy 2020 has made it mandatory. They're going to equate it. I don't know how you people will feel. You are IIT engineers and they are diploma holders. You may feel that you are one notch higher and above, but the policy wants it to be almost equal with credit systems.
Okay.
Because
Equal
they
in
are
what sense?
Equal in terms of respect.
Yeah.
Equal in terms of
But if you see, sir,
recognition.
in the West, plumbers, electricians and all, they are respected people.
Exactly my point. That's what I was coming to. They come in a Mercedes, they may charge you a $50 and 5,000 rupees for a job and go away. But the point is, they will be an excellent plumber.
Yes.
He will clean everything and go away.
Right.
He will not leave it to you to clean. And that is what we want. Educated plumbers.
Right.
We want people who think differently. And that is why, in the same line, we have introduced a lot of vocations in our program.
Oh, really?
Right from the beginning, yes.
Like?
So our children from 6th standard start doing plumbing, gardening, electrician work. They also do AI, which is the latest thing right now. But even the IB, the International Baccalaureate, has recently launched a program called the CP, the Career Program. Previously, they had only one program, the DP, which is a diploma program. And now they found that this is the need of the hour. And we, who are so passionate about vocations and careers, have chosen this program because it is going to give an edge over the diploma program, because the children will have the diploma subjects as well as the career subjects.
So, for most of us, we are only acquainted with science, arts and commerce in 11th and 12th. We don't understand diploma program, career program. All we know is arts, science and commerce.
Yeah.
So, explain what is this?
So, even in that manner, CBSE has today opened the scenario. Now, there's no stream like humanities, commerce or science. You can choose any subject in any combination. Only you need to be sure that the universities will accept you for admission for the next course. That is all. You can take 2 science subjects, 2 commerce subjects, and English, of course, is one language is compulsory. And that is how it was working. So already it is diluting, that system is diluting of science, commerce, but a lot of parents are still thinking that IIT, NEET, they are unnecessarily working towards it. It's absolutely unnecessarily. Coaching, I will talk to you another day in one full podcast on coaching centers. I will talk about it later. But this diploma and career, the career has become so very important because of the changing times. Because rightly when we discussed previously, about industrial age, that time we needed a lot of professionals of different mindset or different skill sets. Right now, we need entrepreneurs. And we need people who can do, because the career options have multifolded increased.
Right.
3,000, 4,000. So the career choices are many more. That's why the career-related programs have to be open to children. Because children are very confused. What should they take after 12th, or what should they do after 11th, or what should they do after 10th? Even after their graduation, they don't know what to do. So there is no proper guidance to the children. But if they go into a career program, they get that proper guidance. They know some skills of how to make some money as soon as they finish the program. And that is what even the country wants. That's why the career-related programs have become very, very important in today's time.
Interesting. So, how does this CP work? You say it's a career program. How does the CP work, and what do students learn? And I believe this is done in the 11th and 12th.
11th and 12th. 11th and 12th. So they will have a CRS, which is a career-related studies. So we have, because we are working towards an entrepreneurial mindset and developing entrepreneurs as per the Viksit Bharat's dream, India's dream of being a Viksit Bharat. So we have taken business administration as our CRS. So we will not teach children to work for somebody, but teach them to be entrepreneurs and do startups. They can also work for somebody, but as an owner. So how will we do it? There's a company, I would say a subsidiary company of IB, or a co-company of IB, which gives us all the data and details of this program. They train our educators, and they want our educators to work on these. But the whole program is very, very different. It's only 20-30% in the classroom and about 60-70% in the field. So they have to do projects, they have to do internships, they have to do apprenticeships, they have to actually do hands-on activities. So they learn by doing, not learn by studying.
Amazing. Love that. Love that. I mean, it's so encouraging to know that we have a school in Goa that's actually training people to do business, to be entrepreneurs. And as you said, this is the need of the hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
The great thing about entrepreneurs, they could go anywhere in the world, land
and
on
do
their
anything.
feet. Yeah, and do anything. So they're not stuck to, one particular path.
Yeah.
And that's the most amazing thing. Now let's talk about holistic education, which is what NEP is also promoting. How do you believe that all of the stakeholders, parents, policymakers and all that, can support the education which is holistic?
As per my experience, most of the parents and children look upwards. What will be the ultimate goal? Who is the final authority to give us a job, or to give us business, or to give us a degree? And they start planning backwards. So most importantly, the first thing has to start, which has already started, that industries have to start appointing children without the marks, based on their skills. If they see that the industries are appointing children, then automatically the mindset of the people will start changing. If the industries still say that we need a mark sheet, we need a 99%, then this will not change, never change. If the universities change that we can take admission by interviews and by group discussions, and seeing your portfolio, how many events you participated in, what you have done, how good are you at communication skills, how good are you at thinking skills, what are your research skills, then the children will not really depend on their marks. They will do other things which NEP wants them to do. So it has to start top down. The universities and the businesses have to start changing. Then automatically the mindset of the parents will change. Oh, they want this, so we'll do this. Today what they want? My child should be IIT. Rat race, unnecessarily. Why? Everyone is doing. मेरा एक छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल होता है, maybe it's little humorous. शादी क्यों करते हैं लोग? Everyone is doing marriage, so I'm also getting married. सब कर रहे हैं तो हम भी चल रहे हैं. Herd mentality, भेड़ चाल. That is what our country is all about. भेड़ चाल, herd mentality. Everyone is doing, so we are doing. But they don't understand. Each one is unique. Do what your skill sets are. Why are you looking at others? Make a difference. Take the road less traveled. We have taken it, and we are quite good at it, and we are quite successful in it. I am encouraging people to more come and do it. We are not in competition. Please do what we have done. And if the mindset changes, only then the things will change. Only then the holistic things will happen. Only then the NEP will really make an impact. And that's why the NEP is also asking for 10, 12 years. And even Modi ji is asking for 20 years for a Viksit Bharat.
Lovely. So you were talking about how, universities should stop looking at marks, but instead see how the student performs in group discussions, look at their portfolio. Right now, what's happening with the education process in universities?
Ryan ji, a lot of universities have already done this. The liberal universities, I would say, or the forward-thinking universities have already done it. I don't want to put down anyone, but the traditional universities, or I would say the universities which have been there for a while, still are taking lot of time to change. Most of our children, most of them, if they are looking for these universities, they get admission even before the board result is out. And you know how does that happen?
No idea.
They call them for an interview. They see their portfolio, which is a compilation of their work that they have done. What presentations they have done, what research they have done, what events they have participated in, and what activities they have done. And on basis of that, they ask questions and they ask for evidences. It's more evidence based, not marks based. I can say I've got a 99%. What is the evidence? The marks paper, but I might have cheated. How do I know that whether I actually know the content or not? But if I see a photograph, if I've actually done that work, then I know that I've done this evidence and it's there. So that is what most of the universities have started doing. And many of our students have got admissions even without the board result is out. Even this year, even last year we have done that.
Amazing.
So it's absolutely changing. But again, all universities have to start doing this. Not few. They have to start thinking this way. The UGC has to give a very clear guideline. That's why I was saying top down. Once UGC gives these guidelines, then everyone will start doing. Because their hands are tied, or they feel their hands are tied.
I think it will take time because traditional universities still depend on marks and...
So sad.
Yeah.
So sad.
But perhaps there is a need for that also.
No, there is no need.
Do you think there's never going to be a need for marks-based education?
No, there's no need for marks because then children only study for marks. They don't learn anything. They don't learn anything.
Yes.
You have to learn for an outcome, for a life skill, not for marks. Marks can be on the side. That's okay. But you should not only work for marks. Today it's only happening only for marks.
I think that is why you see that a country like the USA is very entrepreneurial mindset, while India is more bookish knowledge and theoretical
And this is one example I always give to my parents, that a 14-year-old in a UK or a US may not know how to read and write properly, may not. But he has the guts and the confidence to give you and me a job. They have that confidence and that mindset. That's why 40% of doctors in US are Indians. And about 38-40% scientists in NASA are Indians.
What does that mean?
It means that we have the brains and they have the courage and the confidence to hire them. Our best. When will we do that? When will we do that?
Awesome. Well, this has been an amazing episode. We learned so many things about the future of education, why holistic education is important. Thank you so much. This has been the second episode of the Sunshine Worldwide School podcast, and we have Deepak Ji with us. Please subscribe and share this with your friends. Thank you very much.
Thank you.